Sora, subí.
Daniel's mother had longtime collector of antiques and other rare items. Her house was filled with treasures from all over the world, and as a child, Daniel grew up surrounded by many of these items. While most of the items fascinated him, two of them gave him the creeps, a porcelain doll and a dollhouse. According to Daniel, the dollhouse did something very strange, and he often heard tapping coming from the room where it was kept. He couldn't explain the source of the tapping sounds, and it started to make him feel uneasy. So, to investigate the source of the tapping noise, Daniel decided to install a security camera in the room with the dollhouse. And this move proved to be the right one.
I don't know how to explain it. The only thing I can say that has happened with it is sometimes when I walk by, or I go, the bathroom's back there, and I walk through and I hear like tapping coming from this room. It's like like the tapping kept happening, and I came over and I was trying to figure out like where it was coming from, but it was coming from this dollhouse and I don't know where, and it hasn't done it since.
Daniel was baffled by the strange occurrences in his house. He couldn't explain how the tapping noise and the movement of the miniature figurines could happen without any logical explanation. He tried to investigate every possible cause, but he couldn't find an answer.
Guys. Do you hear that? Where is this coming? Knocking at the door. Hello?
He spent hours reviewing the security footage from the room with the dollhouse, but it didn't reveal anything unusual. The sound of tapping was still audible, and it was quite clear that it was coming from the room. But the cause of the tapping remained unknown. It was as if the room itself was alive, and it was making these noises on its own. The next day, when Daniel walked past the room, he noticed that the figurines in the dollhouse had moved. It was as if someone or something had played with them during the night. He couldn't believe his eyes. and thought it might be a trick of his mind. But when he looked closely, he saw that the figurines had moved to a different position than the one he had set them in. It was unnerving, and it made him think that something supernatural was happening in his house. Determined to get to the bottom of things, Daniel started to document everything with his camera. He wanted to capture as much evidence as possible of the strange occurrences that were happening in the house. He knew that this was the only way to find out what was happening and put an end to it. Every day, he would go around the house with his camera, recording any strange sounds or movements he noticed. He would also set up his camera in various rooms, including the one with the dollhouse, hoping to catch something on tape. He was meticulous in his recordings, making sure to capture every detail. Two nights later, something strange happened again. The sound of knocking was heard at the door, but when Daniel opened the door, there was no one there. This was strange, as the same number of knocks were made earlier in the dollhouse video. Fearing that the dollhouse might have something to do with this, Daniel placed the miniature set inside his garage and continued to record it, just in case the knocking continued. However, to his relief, nothing happened. Daniel thought that everything was back to normal and went back to his daily routine. He even posted a video of his workplace on his YouTube channel without mentioning anything about the strange activity in his house. But within a couple of hours of posting this video, Daniel received a message from his mom. It was a video of security footage taken from inside their living room. In the video, Daniel's mom was watching TV when the sound of bare feet running toward her could be heard.
I'm Lord Grantham. This is my daughter, Lady Mary Talbot. The rest of us was on the Riviera, but I hope you enjoy it. Yes. I went over to America 10 years ago and found my luck and I've been there ever since. Yeah. They call us the Hollywood Rise.
Feeling very spooked, she looked around but couldn't find anything that could explain the running footsteps. This incident convinced both Daniel and his mom that something was haunting them. Only a day later, Daniel looked over the footage caught inside the garage and saw the doll's eyes move and heard creepy sounds. Some viewers believe that the doll was mechanical and was either malfunctioning or glitching during this time. However, Daniel's video showed that the doll was entirely hollow from the inside. Given this proof, viewers believed that something was haunting both Daniel and his mom. Despite the unsettling occurrences, Daniel and his mother continued to live in the house, even though they were now convinced that it was haunted. They tried to come up with a rational explanation, but nothing made sense. They started to feel like they were being watched and followed wherever they went. The story of the haunted dollhouse captured the attention of many online users, and it became a viral sensation. People all over the world began to speculate about what could be happening in the house, and some even claimed to have seen paranormal activity in the video. Some suggested that it was a ghost, while others believed that it was a demon. The attention from the online community brought in several paranormal investigators who wanted to examine the dollhouse and the doll. They set up cameras and audio equipment all over the house to capture any paranormal activity. They also brought in a psychic who claimed to have a connection with the spirit world. As the story of the haunted dollhouse spread online, more and more people became interested in the case. Some paranormal investigators even reached out to Daniel, offering their services to help solve the mystery. Daniel and his mother were hesitant to let strangers into their home, but they were also desperate for answers. After much deliberation, Daniel and his mother agreed to let a team of paranormal investigators into their home. The team consisted of a psychic, a demonologist, and a historian. They spent several days investigating the house, analyzing the footage, and performing various tests. After their investigation, the team concluded that the dollhouse was indeed haunted by a malevolent entity. According to the psychic, the entity was the spirit of a little girl who had died in the house many years ago. The demonologist believed that the entity was a demon pretending to be a little girl, while the historian traced the history of the house and found evidence of a tragic death that had occurred there many years ago. The team advised Daniel and his mother to perform a cleansing ritual to rid their home of the entity's presence. They also recommended that they get rid of the dollhouse and the porcelain doll, as they believed that these objects were attracting negative energy and serving as a conduit for the entity's manifestation. Daniel and his mother followed the team's advice and performed the cleansing ritual. They also got rid of the dollhouse and the porcelain doll. To their relief, the strange occurrences in their home stopped, and they were finally able to live in peace. The story of the haunted dollhouse eventually died down, but it left a lasting impact on Daniel and his mother. They had never believed in the paranormal before, but this experience had opened their eyes to a whole new world of possibilities. They had learned that sometimes the things we can't see can be even scarier than the things we can. The story of the haunted dollhouse is one of the most famous and mysterious cases of paranormal activity. Although skeptics may dismiss it as a hoax or a glitch in the camera, many people believe that there is something supernatural at work in Daniel's home. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, this story is a fascinating reminder of the power of the unknown and the enduring human fascination with the paranormal. During the night, a woman was awakened by her dog's constant barking at something outside her home. She pulled out her phone to record what was occurring because she was so terrified. She noticed a dark figure that was still and seemed to be watching her. She backed gently in the hopes that the figure would not get any closer. She and her dog were both terrified by this weird presence, but the next night, something even scarier happened, and it left them both extremely frightened.
Hola, gente. Otra vez el ruido ese. Me gustó ser una compañía hoy, pero ya estoy sola. Todo el día se escucha un ruido de abajo. Y la verdad que no sé. Ay, con olor a árbol. Sora. Sora, subí. Nera.
As if out of a nightmare, a pair of unnaturally long, skinny fingers crept out from under the staircase. The woman's heart pounded in her chest as she stared in terror, but it was the being's deathly skin that chilled her to the bone. It seemed as if the creature had been freshly dug up from a grave. Driven by fear and curiosity, the woman went down the stairs in a desperate attempt to capture the creature on camera. But when she arrived, there was nothing there. The entity had vanished without a trace. Was it a ghost or some otherworldly creature? The answer was never found. Get ready for yet another mysterious story. The following video clip's origin is unknown, which increases the eerie and unsettling feeling. The video, which shows a dog's cage, is the only source of information. It initially seems to be an ordinary security camera arrangement meant to keep an eye on the pet while the owner is gone. But when the video clip starts to play, it becomes obvious that something evil is hiding nearby. The dog in the clip is visibly agitated, staring intently at an invisible presence. Suddenly, without warning, the animal is violently thrown backwards, as if struck by an unseen force. But the horror does not end there. As the dog was motionless standing on the ground, the door near to it creaks open on its own, as if the unknown entity came inside. One is left wondering what type of evil energy could have such control over a defenseless animal. Is the dog being haunted by a ghost, or is there a more logical explanation? Could this be a case of animal abuse, or something even more sinister? It was supposed to be just another day for the bus driver in Singapore, but little did he know that his morning would be anything but ordinary. As he checked the security cameras of the double-decker bus, he was greeted with the eerie sight of an empty vehicle, or so it seemed. Upon closer inspection, he noticed something unsettling on the footage.
Pagi dah buat seram ah. Kau tengok ni ya. Okey, kat atas ni ada orang kan. Kiwak betul lah. Pagi-pagi dah buat seram lah. Habis boleh ada orang kat atas kan. Sial kan, tak ada orang kan. Berderau darah aku lah. Celaka betul lah. Aku puas jeritkan dia suruh turun tadi kat dekat tempat turun orang. Nak bawa lagi ke sini. Pokemon betul lah.
But the spookiness didn't end there. The driver searched the bus, only to find that no one was on board. The strange figure captured on camera had simply vanished into thin air. Who or what was it that had been lurking on the empty bus? As you have reached this point in the video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell icon. By doing so, you will stay informed about our latest upcoming videos. On the eerie night of March 6, 2023, a Reddit user stumbled upon something terrifying in his own home. For years, he had been plagued by inexplicable noises echoing through his apartment, but he could never pinpoint the source. Then, one fateful night, he decided to investigate. As he stood in his living room, he snapped a photo of his kitchen, hoping to catch a glimpse of the culprit. But what he captured was far more sinister than he could have ever imagined. When he enhanced the photo, he saw a tall, eyeless figure lurking in the shadows. The Reddit user was convinced that this was the source of the haunting noises, but he couldn't shake the feeling that something even more malevolent was lurking in his home. Days later, he set up a camera to capture any further evidence of paranormal activity. Sure enough, the footage revealed a shadowy figure moving through the darkness of his kitchen. And when he brightened the video, he saw that it was the same towering entity from the previous photo. Was this a mere squatter or something far more sinister? There haven't been any more updates in this story as of yet, leaving viewers feeling uneasy at the horrifying thought that something paranormal might be hiding in the shadows of their own homes. If this video was scary enough for your liking, hit the like button. And if you want to see more of them, hit the subscribe button. See you next time.